Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. A Billings School District 2 fifth grade teacher tonight in jail after allegedly sexually assaulting two of his students.
30-year-old Brent Skelton accused of grooming, texting, and touching the two young girls during school.
Now, the details surrounding these alleged crimes spelled out in court documents late this afternoon.
The school district telling Q2 the Orchard Elementary teacher resigned from the district before his arrest last night. Charging documents state Skelton allegedly exchanged inappropriate text messages with two female students ages 11 and 12.
Further investigation revealed Skelton also allegedly touched both girls under their underwear during class. He's charged with 2 counts of felony sexual assault and faces between 4 years to life in prison. Now, Billings School District 2 communicating the situation all across the school district today following Skelton's arrest.
Q2's Zoe Zandora met with Superintendent Greg Upham to find out what the school knew, when they knew it, and how district officials responded.
The Billings Public School District began an internal investigation early this summer after a parent of a female student at Orchard Elementary came forward and shared with the principal concerning text messages between their daughter and 30-year-old Brent David Skelton.
I immediately launched an internal investigation on the issue, placed the teacher on administrative leave at that point in time, and then through our investigation shared information immediately with the Billings Police Department and also Child Protective Services.
Upham says school was out for the year and they learned of this incident in the beginning of summer, adding that it's important to act immediately with appropriate intervention and attention.
In doing so, you want to make sure that the information that you have is correct. We confer with our legal counsel immediately and then go through appropriate protocols and laws moving forward.
Upham says Skelton was put on administrative leave once the investigation began and resigned before his arrest on Thursday evening.
We were at the school this morning. Our executive director, Mr. Cobb, worked with Mr. Gogler, the principal, to alert the staff, and then we work with our staff and people moving forward in any support that they would need.
Upham says it's important for students to feel comfortable enough to bring matters like this forward so the district can help.
The term we're using a lot is see something, say something, and that has to do with school violence. It has to do with any issues of safety and concern. Is see something, say something, and we're hypervigilant with safety in all capacities, and so something like this is extremely concerning. And so we'll review and examine our internal protocols and procedures and work to improve everything that we need to improve moving forward.
In Billings, Zoe Zandora, MTN News.
Thanks, Zoe. Again, if found guilty, Skelton faces between 4 years to life in prison and $100,000 in fines.
Well, the number of people coming down with a serious lung disease after vaping continues to grow across the country, sometimes with deadly consequences. And tonight, that issue has struck Montana.
Yellowstone County reports the state's first severe case of pulmonary disease associated with vaping. The Department of Public Health and Human Services confirms that local resident is in his or her 30s with a history of vaping nicotine and THC.
Q2's Mitch Legge standing by now with what officials know and what questions still remain. Mitch?
Well, Russ and Jeanelle, the Yellowstone County patient was hospitalized in August and is now at home recovering. This case adds to the growing number of cases in a national investigation. 8 deaths associated with severe pulmonary illness have been documented. The trouble is the lack of information. Officials don't know what products are causing the problems. The Montana Department of Public Health is sharing its information with national officials, so hopefully they can pin down what is causing this disease.
We do know there's an association between the use of e-cigarettes and severe pulmonary disease. What we don't know yet is exactly what that linkage is. Is there a specific causative agent? Is it a constellation of things? So the more information we can get in a case like this and put into a big database, the more we can start to tease out really what are the connections.
Symptoms of severe pulmonary disease include coughing, shortness of breath, and chest pain. People may also experience nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Officials say symptoms can worsen over the course of days or weeks. If you're experiencing these symptoms, please consult your local healthcare provider as soon as possible. And I reached out to a local vape shop for their take on the Yellowstone County case, but it declined to comment. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Mitch. Well, we know recent surveys show nearly 30% of Montana high school students use e-cigarettes. Now, those numbers also show more than 58% of teenagers have tried vaping. Now, the sharp rise in use recently sent a team of 700 American survivors, patients, and volunteers to Washington, D.C. to ask for help. Carrie Yoder is Montana's lead ambassador for American Cancer Society Action Network. She says she and hundreds of others push lawmakers to do more to curb teen tobacco use and fight cancer. They petitioned the Food and Drug Administration and Congress to increase regulation or end the sale of flavored tobacco products. In July, Montana signed on to a special hotline to specifically help kids trying to quit tobacco and nicotine products.
And the nation's largest retailer, Walmart, says it's not going to sell electronic cigarettes anymore. Walmart made that announcement today as the number of deaths and illnesses related to vaping grows. The company says it decided to act due to uncertainty around how federal, state, and local governments may start to regulate the products. Walmart will continue selling the devices it currently has in inventory. The decision also applies to the company's Sam's Club stores.
And time now to turn to weather, Bob. We didn't need to water our flowers or our yards today.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of rain down here in the plains, but let me tell you, we're getting a whole bunch of snow up in the higher elevations. Let me show you, we do have, look at that, a winter storm warning for the Beartooth Mountains. That's right, looking for 12 to 18 inches of snow right on through noon Saturday. That's above the 8,000 foot level. Though over there in the Gallatins, it's more like 3 to 7 inches of snow through 6 a.m. Saturday. That's above the 8,000 foot level. Meanwhile, in the Absarokas, a little farther south, Cody foothills, maybe 6 to 18 inches of snow starting at the 7,500 foot level and going to about 10,000 feet. You could see 18 inches of snow up there. Now let me show you what's happening here tonight. There's the radar. You can see the showers most of the day stay just off to the west of us. We weren't getting any showers. All of a sudden now that stuff has just started to push its way into Yellowstone County, and so that's what our forecast model is showing. Look at the heavy rain showers moving in here by 6:30 tonight. It's just going to be pouring. It's already been pouring pretty heavy right now. We've already had a quarter inch of rain, and we're going to get a whole lot more before it's over and done with, maybe over an inch. We'll have more on that coming your way in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Well, that was a worldwide effort that found itself also in Montana, a strike against climate change.
And in Helena, more than 200 people gathered outside the city-county building for today's rally. Some of those Montanans include candidates for statewide office, such as Helena Mayor and U.S. Senate candidate Wilmot Collins and U.S. House candidate Kathleen Williams.
Speakers at the rally said it's fine for people to act individually to combat climate change, like walking and biking instead of driving when they can, but that broad political activism and action is really what's needed. Now, a similar strike in Missoula as both high school and university students voiced their concerns. The students say the conversations have to happen now to prevent even more climate change in the future.
Well, many today say part of the problem lies in the education system and that students aren't taught enough about climate change. Now, there's more news from across Montana tonight on your statewide MTN News at 9 o'clock. Students thinking of joining the Montana National Guard could get a helping hand in the form of free college tuition. We'll have those details.
But first, still to come on tonight's 5:30 News. Today we honor Montana's prisoners of war and those who are still missing in action on this National Day of Recognition.
And in sports, Rocky tonight inducts its latest Hall of Fame class. Scott hears from the guy who turned around men's basketball, former coach Mark Adams.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.